Welcome to the channel where all you gotta do is put the Bronco back up on the lift. So I might have mentioned in one of my earlier videos that I dropped this Bronco down because I was afraid we may have an earthquake, and we did. So it's been sitting on the frame for a couple months now. So instead of the way I had it up on lift before, I just had some 4x12s, you know, cut about a foot long or something. And they were just like propped up under here. You know, just sitting up here. So any kind of jiggling, that would have fallen off. And I thought, you know what, that's been like that for way too long. So I decided to whittle up a thingy. So I got a 4 1/8 piece of steel, and I got a piece of, you know, just a leftover piece of roll bar tubing. And these are the bump stops from this Bronco when I had the live axle in it. So I just machined some little pilots, and I can use those. Unscrew that. It's just a 3/8 16 bolt, so I can unscrew that and put it on a different one if I wanted. And I can still return this. There's a bolt down in there. It looks like that. But the polyurethane is kind of boogered up, so I'm gonna order some new ones. This is the, yeah, see there, it's just decomposing. So I'm going to get some new ones. You can't really get these ones because this is Swedish stuff, but it's close enough. I got some that are a little bit bigger. Put them in the saw and chop them up a little bit. So anyway, now I got some bump stops so that sits on the bottom of the floor and doesn't crunch anything up. And then the other ones just sits on the body. Pinch right here. So, but that is way lower than that by, yeah, approximately that much. So anyway, that took, I don't know, not all day. It took probably 3 hours. Everything takes longer than you think it's gonna. Okay, so these pads showed up for the lift, for my Svenhov lift. I'm probably murdering that, but that's what it is, screw drive thingy. So we got that one with the bump stop, removable, and then I'm in the middle of doing a lot of cleanup, so it doesn't look like it. But yeah, these are the decomposed ones. So dumpster. And then I got these. They're like 10 bucks for high quality. You can see the end mill marks from when they made the mold. You can polish those out, but whatever, it's good enough. So I already fitted one. Doesn't quite fit here, but it's good enough. It has like an undercut here that's just a little bit smaller than the thickness of that. So I just pried it down with some screwdrivers, bonked it down with a hammer, and it ain't gonna go anywhere. If there's a car on the lift, it's gonna hold it down. So we'll go over there and we'll replace the last one. Alright, first thing I gotta do is dig out the crust from the center. Just 8mm bolt in there. 12mm head, flanged head. Bolt in there. Now that I know it, you never know once I get dug one out. Alright. So, fortunately, disgusting one. And then new one. Just gonna put this on like a hard rubber tire. Some screwing drivers. You could probably use some lube on this. It might make it easier. Stay. I already know this works because I did the other one. Nobody was watching me though. Wincing, swearing, swearing. There we go. Like I said, it doesn't really fit, but where's it gonna go? Okay, so I put the Bronco back up. Not all the way up, but I think it's at a pretty good height where I can get the stuff under here and drop it up and, you know, drop it down and back up. Body mounts are there. And this is my problem here. By the time this thing reached, if it didn't have like a big extension here, it would crunch into that. So I had to put a, on there. So anyway, this I think should work pretty good. So the way this thing used to work, and I still have to tidy up some wires over here, but it has a motor for each of them. It's a 208 three-phase motor. And it used to have like position sensors and a control box and all that stuff, but none of that works without three-phase power, real three-phase power. So I just ripped all that stuff off and I got an inverter for each side. And to make it go the same speed, I got this one going at 20.44 hertz and I got this one going 20 hertz. And then I got two switches here. This one controls that side and this one controls this side. This side. So anyway, you just have to push those two buttons up to go up, push the two buttons to go down. If it gets a little crooked, or the nice thing about it is you can make it go crooked if you want to. I don't know why you would, but scenario. By the way, there's a crack right here. That's why it's labeled. So I gotta drill that and yada yada yada. But anyway, yeah, these seem like they're gonna work. Not a lot of weight. I don't know how much this thing weighs, probably 700-800 pounds, something like that. Not a lot, especially without the doors and fenders on it. Maybe not even that much. But anyway, this should make it not fall off. And these things are locked, right? These have a little, like a blind engagement thing. So these things can't move. You know, they can't pivot. I think it's pretty normal on a two-post lift. So anyway, if you haven't seen this thing before, here's a GT42 double ball bearing. It's taped up so it doesn't get schmutzed up. And then I got the duals running into the collector here. Divided housing. It's a ZF 5-speed. And that's a Atlas transfer case. And then I got a giant 10 and a half. I think it's 10 and a half rear differential in this pivot box. So that gives me my articulation. And then I'll be hanging double A arms off each side. Same setup in the front. And then obviously 4.62 valve with one of my Allen superchargers on it. And you're probably wondering, supercharger and turbo? Yep, that's correct. That makes 8 pounds of boost. As soon as that exceeds 8 pounds of boost, that bypasses and doesn't do anything. It just spins around and bypasses itself. So anyway, I got to get back going on this thing. But I got to get all my junk out of the way first. There's the 6-speed for the Mustang. It's going to go into the wine cellar. Now that you guys know what a wine cellar is. And this is the V10 block that's sleeved already. And I called the guy and asked him, the guy that's making the crank. I called him last week, said, yo, what's up? He said, a couple more weeks, it'll be done. So we're going to be starting to put some engines together. Anyway, this is where we are. This is only a mock-up frame. I have the real frame sitting in the bushes. So I'll have to, that's why all this stuff is just tacked on. Motor mounts are just tacked on here. So I'll take the real frame and yeah, these hangers gotta get removed, but this isn't the real frame, so I just left them there. The same with this. I took off the stuff that needs to be gone for me to mock everything up. Like this cross member here, it's just tacked on. So anyway, we're gonna get back going on this. That's what they all say.